Yeah, I had a feeling that would be the source of many, many questions and a great deal of anguish.
No.
So, I mean, look, you know, it did surprise me how much rage I received online, because, as you all know, I'm not the writer of the show, so it was a very peculiar phenomenon.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think some fans just forget that, or like, it's really. I read some comments online too, and I was shocked. So I just wanted to say that I'm not really happy with the way the Hayijah storyline goes in general, and like how Hayijah's storyline is right now. I'm not happy with it because I think he deserves happiness. He is the person of the Mikaelsons, the one who most deserves it, because he's the one who's always thinking about others and doing stuff for his family, but he's never thinking of himself, and he deserved it. So I'm not really happy with that. But that's why I wanted to ask, what do you think about his journey, and what do you wish for him to happen? Or what would you wish if you could decide, if you would write your own show, if you would write the show, what would you have him do? What would happen?
Well, here's what I have to say in defense of the writers, is look, they're doing the best that they can, and they're creating a world, you know, like, the point of drama is that you write an environment where you're not always happy. I mean, think of every show you love. There's always things that happen that are unfortunate. But the reason that we return to the shows we love is because I don't even think we're aware, but we go back because unfortunate things happen. I mean, the reason people go back to Game of Thrones so frequently is that you'd often fall in love with a character, and then that character would die pretty immediately. You know, that's the point of drama, is that bad things happen to the people you love, and bad things happen to the ones you hate, but that's the essence of drama, you know? Like, if you want to watch television where good things happen all the time to the people that you like, go and watch a sitcom.
Yeah.
But we do not make a sitcom. Our show's not a sitcom. It's, you know, it's a funny world, it's sometimes a silly world, it's whatever it is. But I do respect our writers in the sense that they're trying to create this landscape. And unfortunately, that means sacrifices, and that means that sometimes you don't get what you want. But we don't write shows so that you get what you want. The reason we create drama in the first place is so that you can look at environments where there's adversity, where there's catastrophe, where there's immense hardship, and you watch heroes overcome those hardships. That's what drama is. It's not about satisfying a social media outcry.
Exactly. I think the job of being a writer is being creative yourself, having the opportunity to think of things yourself and writing a show and not pleasing people with it, but doing it. Yeah.
I mean, I think this is the danger of that we're seeing with political correctness now too. I think that sometimes sometimes you see shows that are sort of congratulating themselves on being politically correct, and they're actually not making the shows that they want to make. I think you should just make what you are passionate about making, and that will be the essence of what will be beautiful.
And the originals goes on for 5 seasons, the Vampire Diaries went on for 8. I mean, that's a lot that happened, a lot of things to consider for them too, so that's not an easy task to take on.
No.
But you didn't answer my question. What would you like to happen with Hayijah if you would write the show?
You know, to be honest, I've never given this any thought. Like, I've always let myself be at the mercy of the writers in that sense, because that's their domain. Like, for me, the only thing I can control is the scene itself and how the scene is carried out. Now and again, I've confronted them about, like, look, I'm not sure about this, I don't understand. They're always very willing to talk and very willing to negotiate. I don't know if I had any idea for what I wanted for Hayijah. I think that, I mean, I always suspected that the show was a chronicle of their final days together, you know. So I guess I wanted him to die. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, that would be even worse for me, but alright. Okay.
Spectacularly, but yeah.
Hi, Daniel.
Hi.
I just have to say first that I also obviously didn't like where the storyline went for Elijah in season 5, but your acting in episode 8 where...
The rest of the episodes I was terrible. But 8, good. You finally got there in 8. So it was a slow... If we had to draw it on a graph, it just went like this. It sort of fell down again, but...
It was like up there, episode 8.
And then dropped again at 9.
Yeah. But your acting...
She said yeah. She said yeah. Well, I hope you're recording this. Yeah.
Your acting when Elijah got his memories back was amazing and very heartbreaking to watch, of course. But my question is, how was it to play like half the season as this new Elijah and act with, not with Joseph and Riley, etc.? Was it different for you?
Was what different for me? I'm sorry.
To act with, to play this new Elijah without his memories, you know?
Yeah, it was different. It was different. It was enjoyable. It was enjoyable to be playing a version of him that was unfettered, you know, uncomplicated and kind of like new and discovering the world a little bit. It was like, I felt more like I was a representative of the audience, you know, at a certain point. Because I felt like I was kind of with you guys, like discovering what it meant to be part of their world.
Would you say...
How many questions you get, lady? Oh, don't worry, there's no line behind you. Oh wait, there's an enormous line.
Would you say you are more similar to the new Elijah than the old Elijah?
I don't think I'm similar to either of them.
Oh. Thank you.
Thank you. Lovely to see you. Hi.
Thank you so much for coming to Party Michael. So I've got a tattoo of Always and Forever on the back of my shoulder.
Why did you do that?
Because...
Why did you do that? Why didn't you get... You know, like, I got a silly deer, or like a thing. And like, you guys have a water here, by the way, called Brew, I think? Brew? B-R-U? And I was like, oh, it looks like I just got tattooed the brew deer on my arm. In Brazil, this is not very cool. Oh, sorry, in Brussels, this isn't very cool. But you got Always and Forever. Did they spell it correctly?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. That's a good start.
Yeah, so I was just going to ask if you got a tattoo to represent Elijah, what would you get?
Oh, I got this. I got that. Yeah, because he's the stag, right? And when I was done, I was like, oh yeah, I'll get a stag. I got one. Yeah.
Hi Daniel.
Hi.
I'd like to thank you for introducing me to Greta Van Fleet. You posted.
Oh yeah, I love
I'm
them.
a big rock fan. So,
Oh, nice.
So my question is, any other suggestions, any other rock bands you can make?
Yeah, there's a guy called Benjamin Clementine. You should look him up after this. Benjamin, I believe he's a British Parisian artist. I think he sometimes sings he sings in both French and English, but mostly in English. And he's kind of like a male Nina Simone, and he's wonderful. He was homeless for a good period of time, and well, I mean, I don't know if it was a good period of time, for a period of time. And apparently he sort of wandered, the legend goes that he wandered into a bar someplace in Paris and started playing the piano, barefoot in a trench coat. Like, he's tall and very striking looking gentleman. And he started playing and people were like, who's this guy? And they invited him, I guess the owners of the bar invited him to come back and play, and he eventually developed this underground following, and his music is like no one else's. Look up Benjamin Clementine, and by the end of the convention, I want people to report to me that they've heard him, because you've never heard anything like him. He's splendid.
Thank you very much. I will check
Thank
them out.
you.
And I'd just like to thank you for all your work that you've done with Boxland.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm a very big fan of you. I made a t-shirt.
Elijah is hotter. Now, what is this?
Forget about Damon. Elijah is hotter.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Well, that's just because I'm male. Isn't Damon's a female, right? Like, no, he's beautiful.
But you're Mrs. Daniel.
I'm not talking about Ian. Ian's very manly, but Damon is a lady. But I mean that affectionately. He's like a little sister. He's like, Damon is like Elijah's little sister. And his very, very pretty little sister. Little female cousin that he doesn't care too much about.
And I want also to say thank you for the 8th and 9th episode, because it
I'm sorry, the what?
8th and 9th episode
Oh,
of
thank
season
you.
5, yes.
I haven't seen, I watched one the other night. I caught one the other night. I don't know what episode. Can anybody help me with the one? I didn't see the one that just aired. I saw the one the week before. In the Chambre de Chasse one? What episode was that?
8.
Oh, it was 8. Okay, so I caught 8. I haven't seen any others this season.
Okay, but the one when Aisha was crying, I was also crying.
Was I crying? Oh, I guess I was at the end. Yeah, it was pretty sad.
I have a lot of questions for you. How did you manage to make this crying? What it was like to work with this episode?
I just think about how much money and Joseph Morgan was making over me in that episode. I would think about the disparity in my wage and his wage, and I just immediately just tears. So that heartbreak you see is just resentment. It's the tears of resentment.
Okay. And another question. Why did you choose to play Robert Dust? Because it was not opposite of Elijah Mikaelson, opposite of yourself. Why did you pick up this role?
Well, I got offered it, and I was in Brazil, and I thought, and they gave me a very brief period of time to get ready, and I thought, this is impossible, I have to do it. I thought, I was fascinated by that case, and I'm fascinated by people, like what might make somebody do something like that, so I wanted to do it. I do wish I'd had more time to prepare, to be honest. And perhaps, had it not been on Lifetime, it might have been a bit more adventurous with the way it was cut. But I had a marvelous time with that director. I think he was one of the great experiences of my professional life.
I saw how you struggled to don't forget about this nervous ticking of the character while we were talking.
Yeah.
Can I read you my poem?
Yes, you can. It depends how long it is. If this is the Iliad, no.
About what?
No, I was making a silly joke about Homer, but don't worry. Yeah, sure. Is it a haiku?
No.
Okay, let's go. Read the poem. I promise not to cry.
I read your interview for the Prune magazine.
Oh, lovely.
And it's based on your words about what things you pray every day.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
While we're waiting.
I don't know.
I had a question. I was going to ask you guys.
Sorry.
When was the last time I was here? Was it 2016? 16. Okay, cool. I'm so happy to be back. It's lovely. I miss Charles. Do you guys miss Charles? Yeah. He's so cute. He's so cute. I miss his little head. It's just like patting his little head. He's so cute.
Okay. I will try to open it and then read. Okay?
Okay, yeah, sure. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Hi.
Hi.
If you could be on any other TV show, which TV show would you be and who would you play?
Man, I don't know. I've seen some shows recently that I really like, that I think I'd be good on, that I think I'd be decently suited to. I watched this this show recently that Joseph Morgan recommended for me, actually, called The Terror. It's on, do you guys know the show, The Terror? It's a British show, it's AMC, it's a thriller horror. It's these guys on these ships, and they get stranded in the Arctic, when they're, it's set in the mid-19th century, and this monster is hunting them. So I'd say that The Terror would be a show that I think would be kind of interesting for me. I don't really, what are the, I mean, I want to be on something that I love, you know. I'm writing my own show right now. If I could be on any show, I'd probably want to be on my own show. Hopefully I sell it and I can be on it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Beautiful. Should I beatbox to this? Should I, like, hum? No, you know what, you just read it.
I don't feel safe and sound anymore. My voice is mute, my throat is sore. From silent screaming into the parable glass of broken eyes. Here stands a woman, there stands a man. and there is a Babylon abuse between them. We still argue which color of skin is better, and what body shape is the most acceptable for us. The news portrays self-destruction as self-hate of people tearing themselves apart to an attempt to catch unachievable perfection. When did I wake up in a divided nation, embracing hollow pride for great history behind, and do nothing to change the grim foreordination?
What was the last words? And do nothing to change the what?
The grim foreordination.
I'm so sorry, I'm not catching it. The grim?
The grim foreordination. Destiny.
Okay. The dream for ordination. That's so pretty. Thank you so much. That's beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it just you're immediately in character, you know. Like, well, at least for me, like it helped me to understand how much those aspects like contribute to your character. To wear them was wonderful, and they were beautiful suits, so it was lovely. I kind of yeah, I don't know if I'll ever play a character like that again, where I'm suited up all the time. I loved it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, that's difficult because you're putting me on the spot. People film these things, and then the other siblings hate me when I reply. I would say, well, I love them for different things. I don't know, I couldn't answer that. It's a vicious question. You're a savage young woman, is what you are. You're vicious. No, I'm not gonna answer this. I love them all equally. You know what? Enrique, my favorite other Mikaelson, Enrique, the boy who died early. Like we were deeply close to one another before he went, and then the others were all kind of like second rate. But I dealt with them. But that's why Elijah's so brutally tortured, because of little Enrique, who died a long time ago. Do you remember Enrique? He died on the Vampire Diaries. He was the young...
Yes, I remember.
Okay, him. I love you.
I love you too.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Our voices are both getting higher. Let's do this. All right, next person, next question. Thank you so much.
Hi, Daniel.
Hi.
I'm a huge fan. My friend actually made us these t-shirts.
What? That's cool.
So we're the Mikaelson crew now.
You're so glittery. You're
Yeah, I know, I sparkle.
and you do, yeah. That's not even with the t-shirt. Thank you, that's beautiful.
So I wanted to know, in the show you have a really close connection to Klaus. You have a very special bond with him and with the rest of your family. But how is that connection outside the set, and how did it grow throughout the years?
Well, it didn't grow because we do resent one another, like almost never hang out. It's unfortunate because they're a group of terrible people.
I find it hard to believe.
No, they're thieves. They'll steal. Like you can't leave your wallet around Phoebe Tonkin. Like before I came to come in here, I packed everything in a bag and a safe. I have a guy. Brussels has appointed me with a guy who just stands vigilantly watching my property all weekend because Phoebe Tonkin will steal anything, anything I have. Nate Bazolich, he's probably in the back room telling vicious stories about me right now. Calling me fat, probably, which is that's just rude. Joseph Morgan, look, I don't want to say he's racist. He's not. That was a terrible beginning to a joke. They're all just a motley crew of the most reprehensible humans you can imagine, and unfortunately, I don't hang out with them. But the greatest performance I think that we've ever done is not even really on the show. The greatest performance that this cast has ever performed is that we pretend to like each other publicly. Next question.
I just want to say thank you for your charity work.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
I don't remember how long now.
Yeah, no, I mean the ones where we're furious with each other because they're funny to film, And we sort of had, I think we had a quiet competition, which we never spoke about to one another, of how much spit you could get in the other person's face. Well, no, well look, this is what happens when you argue and you sometimes spit. You can see it here, you know, I'm illuminated in such a way now that, I mean, I'm not going to do it. I don't know if, I'm trying to see if I could see my own spit. Is there any act of narcissism greater than somebody sitting on a stage saying, I wonder if I could see my spit right now? I apologize. This way. But, like, no, I think, yeah, those scenes of fury were fun. I did occasionally wish that we could just have more scenes of camaraderie and brotherhood, because that would have been interesting to look at, you know, once in a while. But the scene had a certain frequency, and that frequency was always fairly malevolent.
Well, I enjoyed both, but...
Merci, sir.
Thank you so much.
Hi.
Hi.
I am Dana from Romania.
Hi. I just came from your country.
Okay.
Yeah, Bucharest.
It's very good.
I love that city. It reminds me of a baby Berlin, like a baby Berlin.
I hope you like that city. I want to organize a congress of vampires
Okay.
in Bucharest, in Romania, because it's a country of vampires.
Yeah.
If I will invite you, you will come to that congress?
I'm incredibly expensive. But yes, if you come up with it. Yeah, I mean, you're looking at probably $1,500.
Okay.
And then you have to buy me a hamburger.
Okay. I think I can
That's
find something more good food in Romania, not hamburger. I will invite
Yeah, the Romanian food was splendid.
Yes, I know.
I mean, look, look, no, it sounds wonderful. I'm sure you have other willing participants outside as well.
Okay.
That sounds wonderful.
This is the first question. So you say, okay.
Well, I didn't, you know, this is not a legally binding contract.
You said for an amount?
Sure, sure.
So, it's okay.
I've shot myself in the foot, haven't I? Yes.
And the second question, in the real life, if you have to choose, if you die with a vampire blood inside, and you have to choose to feed or to die, what will you choose? In the real life, if you are in a situation like this?
I love this question. I love that the question is prefaced with, in real life, if you had vampire blood in you. No, it's not this. I think
I'm from Romania, so
sure.
I think it's
Yes, I don't know what your Romanian scientists are doing, but the other ones in other countries know pretty conclusively that this is bullshit. But I would say I would feed. I would willingly feed, because I want to. Yeah, who wouldn't? I want to. Yeah, I'd be a barbarian slash. What are they? They're cannibals. You know, once you get over the cannibalism, I'm sure it's okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I went in Bucharest.
Thank you.
Hi.
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 Yeah, it was more pleasurable than my first time directing the show. I was a little more accustomed to it. I think we worked very, very hard. It had a lot of special effects in it, which I wasn't accustomed to. So I like learning new things. Danielle is very, very good in the episode. Yusuf Gatewood is very good in it. Joseph's mediocre. I'm amazing in it. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm yeah, it's sort of I'm actually horrible. I'm not very good in it. The Phoebe Tonkin. No, it was a good episode. I enjoyed it. What can I tell you about it? Shit. What happened in the episode?
Are there like closing hope moments? Because they are beautiful.
Oh, who cares? Get out of here. No. Yes, there are classic moments. I'm trying to remember what happens. There's a lot of stuff. Oh, you know how there's that other world? There's Yusuf has to venture into the, you know how there's that parallel dimension where all the ghosts live?
The other side.
Thank you. I'm glad they have to go into that. There's death. There's some death. People are dying. That's all I'm going to say. People are dying. Not my fault. I didn't write it. So don't cuss me out when deaths happen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have just a few more minutes left. I want to give you guys the question, but try to make it short.
I want to ask you a quick question. Am I disappointed? This is disappointing, isn't it? Is this disappointing? Is it boring? No. Whoa, there we go. Who said yes? Loudly, like passionate. Is this boring? Yes. Well, okay. So my question to you is, what would be something interesting to discuss? No, I'm serious. Like, what could be something interesting? Everybody asks that question. I've just decided you're boring. Okay, next question. Next question.
Hi there.
Hi.
So my husband's brought me from London.
Oh, thank you so much.
As my wedding gift. So
it's a wedding gift to me. It's I got married 14 years ago.
I only got married.
That's a late gift. That's all right. I'll take you. You look like you could fit and carry on. I'll put you in there.
Thank you.
Okay, good.
I've also got this T-shirt. I'm sired to, apparently. That's also part of the wedding gift. But,
to me, 14 years. This is perfect. Yeah, you're adorable.
Thank you. So the question is, obviously through the series, you've all had a British accent, and you actually fooled me for a while, and I thought, oh, are they from London? And I was watching it without looking it up, because I thought maybe they are.
Yeah.
And then when I looked, I obviously found out that you wasn't, and I was like, oh. But you did a really good job throughout the series, and I was just wondering how difficult it was to keep up the accents.
So Elijah doesn't have a British accent.
It sounds like
no, he speaks with an American accent with a British cadence. So like,
it's really good.
Oh, thank you. But all of his words are American. Like, you've never heard a British person say, "Klaus, come here. Klaus, come here." Like no British person ever says it sounds like that. There is no R there. Like, he has an American accent, but he speaks it. We had to decide where Elijah came from and where he'd been living, and we decided he'd been living in Europe mostly, and probably in England, and then came over to the States. They did, historically, came over to the States in the mid-1800s. So we had to give him, they were like, "Can you do a British-American accent?" And I said, "I guess. I don't know what it was." So that's the way that's where I landed.
I really like it.
Thank you.
It just sounds so good, and I was like, wow, they sound a bit British. So I was like, oh.
Well, Joseph's British,
yeah,
and Daniel Shaman was British. Who else was British?
Who's that?
Get out of here! No, these people will crucify you for saying that.
I only know the character names because I'm so involved in the series.
I don't remember either. But it's lovely to meet you, and thank you so much. Tell your husband thank you so much for my new present.
Thank you very much.
Let's get a suit, one of those roll-on. We're going to fit you in.
I'll take a photo later.
Yeah, in the suitcase. Hi.
Daniel. My question is, obviously your character's fantastically old, so I was going to ask if there is any time period. Sorry. If there's any time period that you could have.
Joseph Morgan would love this that you said that. I can feel him laughing from a continent away.
If there's any time period that you could have gone back to in the show.
Any time period but this one, where you asked me, where you told me how old I was. If there's any time period I could go back to.
Yeah, which one would you pick?
Oh, I wouldn't want to be in any other time period but now. Oh, do you mean as a character in the show?
Yes. Yeah,
oh, shit. The 70s. Like, I wanted to see them all in hilarious sideburns. It's just bell-bottom pants and what are you doing? Do you know who I am? I'm a big deal in Brussels. Germans. Definitely Germans. Definitely. I'm kidding. I love German people. Stop it. Stop it. All of you. Probably the 70s. Why didn't we do the 70s? That would have been magical, and you should all be ashamed of yourselves. You're tearing at my heart. What's happening? Get that off there. I just want in giant red bleeding letters, stay. Stay for the love of God. Hi. Thank you.
Last question.
Oh, hi, Julie.
I've got 2 things to say before I actually give you the question.
I'm all ears.
First of all, language.
I know.
I can just hear you swear.
I know, I'm the worst. And I heard my son the other day, he said, my language is terrible, my son is 3, and we were in the car, and I can't remember what, something happened, and he just goes, fuck it. As a parent, you're supposed to not acknowledge the swearing, so I'm just driving, I said, what did you say, buddy? He goes, fuck it. Under his breath. And so I was driving, I went, I know that's me, I know I must do that under my breath. I don't even know I do it, it's just like a comma for me. I know, it's terrible. But yeah, I've never really been fastidious about those parameters in terms of language. I'm sorry. Yeah, what's the second thing? Because I'm never going to change.
Okay, and second of all, before I start the question is, while you and your friends were on stage before, I actually made 3 separate pictures of all of you.
Okay. Now, can you tell me where the question is in that?
What's the most embarrassing and funny thing you've ever done on set?
It's not awkward to me, honey. I like silence. Does silence make you guys awkward? It doesn't make me awkward. Wait, those are 2 different things. The most funny and embarrassing is what you said, right? Yeah, those are 2 really different things. I think the most embarrassing thing is when you're... embarrassing to me, or humiliating, is when you got upset about something and behaved in a way that you didn't want to. That for me, that's embarrassing. Like if you're confronted by a scene or whatever, and then there have been many moments like that where I was like, I don't know if this is the way that the scene needs to go, and sometimes you don't always, because actors are expected to be so emotional all the time, sometimes you don't, the emotions are so readily there that you don't always behave how you would perfectly and normally, like I would interact with you guys now, because you're doing these incredibly heightened scenes, so you're already in a bit of an emotional state, and then I honestly think this is why actors receive quite a bad rap often, because they're already kind of angry or upset or emotionally vulnerable, and then someone will say something to them and they'll sort of snap. And that's happened to me a couple of times. Never rudely. I've never shouted at anybody on a set. But I know that there have been times during difficulties when I've behaved in a way that I've been like, I wish I hadn't reacted like that, but you're so vulnerable all the time. In terms of the funniest thing, just watching Joseph Morgan just clumsily stumble his way through lines of it. It was all hilarious. It was all comedy to me. Every day was funny. I never took us seriously. I never took Hayijah seriously. I mean, I took the work seriously, like in the sense of getting ready and getting it prepared. But I really liked being an actor, and I think that showing up there, and because I'd done the work, I was able to play and have fun. And I was just always trying to destroy everybody else's peace of mind. Like, I was always trying to throw them with a joke or try to make them laugh during these very earnest, very serious scenes, which ultimately don't matter. Thank you. Thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you very much, Daniel Gillies.
Have a wonderful weekend.